I want to share with you this new video. I loved it. It's again Dr. Shiva, which is explaining how vitamin D is really helping, above all in this case of COVID-19. And he has been censored on Twitter, for example, because he's explaining to people, because he's a professional, he's the MIT doctor, very professional in the immune system. And basically he's showing that taking vitamin D and vitamin C, but this video is mostly focused on vitamin D, and he's showing that vitamin D is creating little agents which are destroying the membranes of viruses, and not only viruses but also parasites, bacteria, and and he's explaining that he was censored by saying that because he's showing also the volume, the amount of billions of dollars in every industry, of the industry of vitamin D and in the industry of vaccines. And it's showing that, people make a lot more money in the vaccine industry. So it's interesting to take that into account, because it's not so interesting for those people who want to make money on your life and your health, that you could just go take some vitamin D. So being outside and not in lockdown, being outside and not in lockdown. Should I repeat it again? That being outside, taking the sun, grabbing this vitamin D from the sun, or from supplements, or from salmon, fatty fish, salmon and sardines, or cod, liver oil. This, you can have it nearly for free, And he's right when he says, why are those people, those people in charge of every country, health choices now with COVID-19, why are those people never talking about this, but only pushing vaccines? Have you just listened to that? Just listen to what they are pushing. If they are not pushing about health, about real health, about your immune system, what can be done, then you will understand, if you still didn't understand till now, that they are just crooks, mafia, and liars. And that it's possible to take back our own health without waiting for them. Those people are just whores of Big Pharma. And what it's saying is that just a paper was released in April from Ireland, and where they analyze that deficiency in vitamin D is not helping our people in Ireland with protection against COVID-19. And that is what Dr. Shiva wrote to. He sent a letter to the president by saying that it's stupid to manage the cattle, the humans like cattle, everybody in the same drawer, in the same cell, and that he recommends to put healthy people back to work, back to life, and by supplementing them with vitamin D, so to prevent any occurrence, and managing the other people too in a different way. And the interesting part is also that there is a sentence in this article, in this study, that says In 2019, a newer analysis using 21,000 participants from across 8 studies showed that those with a low blood vitamin D level had a 64% increased risk of community acquired pneumonia. So we have all the information needed to how to support people right now, and since a long time also. So now let me go. And this is my part, Ivan. What I would say is like, keep this information for yourself, keep it for yourself, and use it to decrypt. Now that you know this information, use it. Just keep it for yourself and just use it to see what those people in charge of the countries, in charge of your lives now, in charge of your lockdown, how they are talking about health, immune system, or anything about that, or pushing more about tracking devices and vaccines and new wave and top of the curve and so on. Check that. In this case, you will know who those people really are. It's simple. So this sentence, he was highlighting it. Of particular concern, we have observed very high levels of vitamin D deficiency in those who are obese and those with pre-existing lung conditions, both of which have been observed to make individuals particularly vulnerable to COVID-19 and complications from the virus. And of extra concern is the fact that only 10% of those aged 70 plus actually report taking a vitamin D supplement. And because of cocooning, with the lockdown, many of them lack the sun exposure needed and make them a lot more vulnerable. And when he's searching he discovered that there was Dr. Shiva discovered an article, a recent one, in the New York. The New York Times is releasing an article about boosting the immune system and vitamin D. They say in the middle of the article that vitamin D is particularly great for respiratory illnesses. And by the way, I found myself by some research that personal research, that do whatever you want with that, because it's my own research, that germinated seeds, this is something I know enough and I like, carrot seeds. I was searching seeds producing good vitamin D, and funny enough, these are carrots, and it was said in my article that they are great for respiratory problems. Interesting, no? So having enough vitamin D will produce the antimicrobial proteins, the peptides, that will kill viruses and bacteria. And you will be less susceptible to illness. These proteins are particularly active in their respiratory tract. So what I like, what he's saying is we have to stop waiting stop waiting for the mainstream media to tell us what the truth is. Because most of the time, if you check well, they will follow, in order not to have too many problems. They will follow the truth the people already are giving to the people, like Dr. Shiva, for example, since a long time. So it's important to see this and know who are the bastards, you know, and to know which are the fake people, the fake journalism, the fake healthcare system, you know. So what he says, stop listening to journalists. This is not their job. They're just waiting in which direction the wind is blowing, and then they follow. And by doing what Dr. Shiva is recommending, we could have saved a lot of jobs in the economy, because people could have been working without fear. And we could have saved the lives of this critically ill with high dose vitamin C, the immunocompromised with vitamin A and D, and we can be protecting ourselves and getting back to work. It is totally disgusting, like he says. And just one little more thing, you know, I was watching for the first time, you know, not so often, television programming, you know, the news, because my mother was looking at that. And I realized, now it's coming into my mind, you know, that in between the news, or just after, you know, they were putting some commercial about vaccination, you know, and it was really fun how they were doing that. They were saying, "Oh, are you asking your flower shop to help you build a wall, or are you asking your I don't know, you know, something like that?" And they finished with, "If you need information about vaccines, we are the ones," something like that, you know. But whatever the form, it's interesting that they combine, you know, the news, fear, news, numbers of death, and linking that with, oh, let's just put a commercial about vaccine to prepare your mind to be ready for what we will feed you with. For your own good, of course. So you can check the link in the description to check his full video, and I hope you will love it, and that this information that I compiled for you was valuable. Just go and check his video, and if you can help for his campaign, just help him. Bye.